Hello everyone, welcome back to my videos. Well, this video is not going to be about the product recommendation but a few habits that gave me this permanent melasmas and pigmentation. I'm telling all these things what I have done in my early 20s and in my teenagers so that you don't repeat them and get this permanent melasmas and pigmentations that do not go away that easily. On a serious note, this has been a real struggle in my life to deal with these small brown spots called melasma or blemishes that did not entirely come from the sun exposure, but there were a few more factors included into this matter. A lot of people do not really talk about it, but I just figured out that liver malfunction can actually cause you a lot of melasma and brown spots, and you cannot really differ between the kind of spots that was built up due to the sun exposure or the liver malfunction. When I was a teenager, for a good long time I did suffer from a gut health issues and a little bit of liver malfunction. It was not too extreme, but it was there, I knew. And of course the duration of that illness was a good long time, as I told you. So basically the liver malfunction can actually cause you a persistent skin issues such as small brown spots, hyperpigmentation, or dark patches. A lot of people sometimes tell me that I have built up suddenly a good amount of dark patches around my cheeks, or hyperpigmentation around my mouth or on my cheeks. This may happen due to the liver malfunction as well. So it is just not enough to take care of your skin externally, but it is always so important to check out your gut health and liver functioning to get rid of such spots as well. So I would like to request you to actually take care of your internal system, whether it is fine or there is a problem, because it can actually give you a long term or permanent spots on your facial skin. So go check up a doctor whether everything is fine internally or not, because it is actually responsible for a lot of skin issues that we tend to avoid. I'm going to discuss is the dry skin. People have basically the thinnest outer layer, which we'll call the stratum corneum, which is basically the protective layer on your skin. And in case of dry skin, it is the thinnest layer. Okay, so basically the protective layer is very very weak in case of dry skin, which actually accelerates the process of aging. That includes photosensitivity, a lot of brown spots, a lot of dryness going on. Dry skin people often suffers from retaining moisture into their skin. They do not get enough, what should I say, they do not get the proper formulation for their skin which will be suitable for their skin. Sometimes it gets too oily for their skin, sometimes it just gets too liquidy for their skin. The correct formulation for the dry skin people is very very hard to find. So basically what I faced back in those days, that even the sunscreens which were available offline, because no online marketing was there when I was a teenager or I was in my early 20s. So it's a recent thing. So basically back then it was very difficult to find a good well formulated sunscreen. Probably I was having the Lotus sunscreen or the Lakme sunscreen. These two were the available most one in the market, but both of them used to be very muddy sort of formulation they used to have. And whenever I used to apply it on my face, I used to look like 2 or 3 shades darker. It just was so much oxidized into my skin, and I did not absolutely like the formulation and the way it looked on my skin. It was horrible. That was the only reason I always tended to skip my sunscreen. And skipping a sunscreen was the worst decision of my life ever, and this actually gave me all these spots on my skin. So people who are having dry skin, please do focus on moisturizing your skin, because if your skin does not have enough moisturization or enough hydration to your skin, it is never going to be able to fight with the external factors such as photosensitivity, the itchiness, the redness, and other sort of issues. Moving on to the next factor that I'm going to talk about is the melanin production. Now, melanin production in our skin is a natural phenomena. We can't really interfere into that, but I'm going to tell you what we can control. Well, melanin is produced by the cell called melanocytes, which are usually present in the epidermis cell, which is the outer layer of our skin. Now, melanin production is although a natural phenomena, but it is usually triggered by the overexposure of the sun. When I was young, I used to be very reluctant to carry an umbrella. Even nowadays, people think that using a broad spectrum sunscreen will be enough to fight with the UV rays, but it is not, trust me, because it is really, really important to cover yourself with an umbrella, and of course, cover yourself with a piece of cotton cloth. Especially when it is summer, definitely. Now, when I was young, I was really not interested in carrying an umbrella or to cover myself with a cotton cloth. It was very difficult for me. I don't know, I never found it very easy for me to go with it, but this is really, really necessary. With time, I have realized that it is very difficult to deal with such spots, because it is very, very problematic to find the correct product to remove the pigmentations or the melasma or the blemishes, because the continuous melanin production will ruin your face day by day. And it is very difficult to find out the correct product which will even lighten up your dark spots. Forget about the removal of the dark spots. So yes, I can just tell you that just applying sunscreen is never going to be enough. Carry an umbrella, cover yourself properly when you are under the sun. Now, another underrated factor that I really want to focus on is the cleanliness. Now, honestly speaking, the time I was talking about was back 9 or 10 years earlier. Then it was very difficult to find a good cleanser. Nowadays, it is so many types of cleansers is available. Formulas are different, textures are different, the effectivity is different. A lot of actives are there in the cleanser. But I have found somehow that if you have dry skin and if you have dead cells build up a lot of on your skin, it is very difficult to get rid of the spots on your skin. At least this happened in my case as well, because I could not really clean up the entire dead cells, and I used to get a lot of dead cells in my body skin and on my facial skin as well. So I used to feel like my skin is peeling, my skin is looking very flaky. Whatever I used on my face, like a foundation or any sort of makeup or moisturizer, it used to peel, and I did not understand why it was happening. I figured out that my skin is not cleansed enough. The dead cells are not removed properly. So the moment I realized it, I worked on the cleanliness of my skin, the removal of the dead cells properly on a daily basis. It improved a lot. When your skin is not cleansed enough, it will give you a lot of build-up, and you may develop a lot of spots on your skin. I would like to suggest that one cleansing milk works for the cleanliness of your skin really, really well. If you are someone who use makeup on a daily basis, you can definitely go for a oil cleanser, and face wash is very, very important. The core purpose of a face wash has to be the cleanliness. I don't like those face wash which do not really lather up correctly or cleanses properly. It is face washes are never meant to moisturize your skin, but yes, it should not strip off the moisture from your skin, but it should cleanse for sure. So find a good face wash or an oil cleanser or a good cleansing milk that will actually remove the buildups or the dead cells from your skin correctly. Thank you so much. That's all for this video. I really hope that I could help you a little bit. Thank you so much for today. We'll see you very, very soon.